Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Motor Vehicles Committee this morning. If I had a gavel, I would hit it. But anyway, welcome everybody. At this time, I'm going to ask Representative Reed Hour. He will open us in prayer this morning. What number? 2.
Good morning. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful day that you've made, and thank you for the great opportunity that we all have to serve this great state of Georgia. Be with us as we take up these measures today and do it in a manner that honors your name. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. This time, I had a request from Representative Dollar to hear House Bill 384. He's got a meeting he's got to get to, so I'm going to ask him to come to the podium and present 384. And this is a bill we heard last year and passed out of, all right, committee. So present your bill.
I'm not sure. Oh, there it goes. All right. Thank you, Chairman. You are correct. This is a bill that should sound familiar to the members. It's one we did, I guess, last year. It's a simple bill. It says that if a vehicle is pulled over for a traffic citation, this authorizes the law enforcement officer that they can issue that citation to the owner of the vehicle if they are not driving the vehicle. So it has only to do with the vehicle itself. You know, think of an expired tag, windows, you know, tinted, too bright or too dark, tail light out, something like that. And that's all it does. It doesn't say they have to. It just gives them the ability to. Currently, they do not have that. So that's what it does.
Okay, do we have any questions? And we do have a couple members online this morning. Got Representative Prince and Representative Howard. Glad to have them with us. And Representative Kennard. So we have 3 members online as well. Do we have any questions for the author? We have a motion do pass. Do we have a second? And we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Like sign. Bill carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, committee.
Dan, you have the floor. Thank you, Mr.
I'm going to ask Representative Powell, and he can present his bill from right there, 466. What number, Mr. Chairman?
LC number 39.
What's your mic?
I'm sorry. This would be House Bill 466, substitute LC 392926S. This bill is, most of this bill is an update, just to clean up language in the code section that deals with driver improvement schools and the such.
Hold on just a minute. We've got a discrepancy in the bill we have before us and the one you're presenting.
Well, now we've moved to another substitute. All right. I understand we're now working from 2932S.
I believe that's the one everybody has in their packet. Is that correct? We're good now, Mr. Chairman. Proceed.
Most of this bill deals with cleanup language. As I spoke to the subcommittee yesterday morning, this is a code section that's been added on to for 30 years. It's been patched around. Legislative Council took the opportunity to do a lot of cleanup language for a lot of the redundancies and to simplify a lot of the language, but it does several things. This requires first on section 1, and in section 1, this changes the amount on the DUI schools. These are the schools that's been in operation for many years for those offenders, and it changes it from a 20-hour to a 16-hour course under the new curriculums that are being provided by the psychologists that do these things. They've now streamlined this program. Previously, if a DUI offender, because of the 20 hours, when they had to take a mandatory course, This course usually is given on weekends. They were doing 8 hours on 2 days and having to come back on a Monday to do a 4-hour or half-hour course that night. And this goes to 16-hour course streamline. Did not change any of the content of the course as far as dealing with the psychological effects of trying to work with these folks for them to understand the error of their ways. Section 2, which I understand there's going to be a substitute or there's going to be an amendment to that Department of Driver Services want for a little bit more clarification. But a lot of that section 2 is in cleanup. But if you get down to, I think line 40, yes, on line 40, this would allow, because of this new normal that we're living in, this would allow driver schools to use remote platforms, online courses, the Zoom, those type of things. And I understand that driver services wanted a little bit more clarity to be sure that these programs were authorized by the department. And you'll see that in a couple of places with an amendment that'll be offered. Section 3 is generally cleanup language. Section 4 is cleanup language. Section 5 is cleanup language. Section 6, part of that is cleanup language, but it allows for third-party providers to do the road test. And this is because y'all may remember when this virus, this pandemic started last year, DDS just did not have enough folks to administer the road test. And what they were doing, they were basically giving a lot of the first-time drivers, they were giving them a free pass, basically issuing licenses, which was a dangerous thing to do. But because of the shortfall in the number of official testers that DDS had, so this would allow approved third-party providers to provide the road test. If you get down on same language, get down on line 167 in there, and this clarifies that these third-party providers can administer the road test to students whether they're enrolled in that school or not. So it's just actually, this is allowing the third-party approved third-party testers by DDS to allow them to do testing. Takes a burden off of the state right now during these times that we're living in. Section 7 is cleanup language. Section 8, it moves, cleans up language and moves some stuff out of Title 40 to Title 43. Section 9 deals with CDL licenses, and it's mostly cleanup language. Since CDLs, the CDL schools, they're regulated by the feds, and the DDS regulations reflect the federal oversight to any of the CDL schools. Section 10 is cleanup. Section 11, this allows third-party testers to be authorized after 6 months of training, because we're truly in a situation where there's not enough people out there that are able to do these tests right now. And then Section 12 simply is a notification language to the Department of Driver Services of the transfer of ownership of a licensed school. And I understand that there is an amendment that'll be placed to this substitute and a couple of the spots through here to pacify DDS for clarity.
Mr. Chairman, we do have a couple questions. Number 7. Oh, I'm sorry. We got one online. Representative Kennard.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the bill, Chairman Powell. I like it a lot. I have a 3-part question. Since we're carving 20% of the time off of the course, will there be perhaps a 20% reduction in the cost? Secondly, if passed, when will this bill go into effect? And thirdly, in a post-COVID world, will there still be the virtual option, which I like a lot?
Well, July 1st is the simplest answer. On the course, I doubt that you'll see a reduction in it. since they still have to pay the franchise fees to the companies that write these programs. They've had to rewrite the programs and such like that. And then lastly, by providing this, we don't know what we're going to expect in the post-pandemic world. But once it's in code, then DDS would certainly be able to license and control that.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Couple more questions. Number 8, Representative McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for, Mr. Chairman, for this, your bill. I just kept hearing third-party testing, but I kept trying to figure out, will they be certified or by DDS or?
They're licensed by DDS.
So they'll be licensed by DDS?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
For the benefit of the committee, driving schools, DUI schools, and any of the employees, they're always licensed. They have to stand for certain criteria of training and licensing by DDS.
All right, we got another question from Chairman Barr, number 9.
Thank you, sir. May I have a few if that's okay? Mr. Chairman, may I ask a couple if that's all right? On section 3, well, just in general, overall, are we changing the ages on some of this stuff? It looks like we're striking, but I don't know if that's cleanup language. And I'm just curious as if you know if there's any age changes here.
Well, I think we need to ask that to Leg Counsel because this is cleanup language that
Gotcha.
they did.
Sure.
And maybe she can answer that question.
No age changes. Okay, very good. And then to the author on line 60, that section 2 there, we're only opening it up to driver schools that have been in existence for 5 years. Is that correct? Or did I get my sections wrong? I apologize. Wrong. That section 6. I'm just curious. Was that the
162, I think.
Is that what we're doing here? Is you can do a online or no? I apologize. Provide the driving test for the third party if they have been licensed for 5 years. Is that how I read the language? I apologize.
162. Is that what you're looking for?
Line 160 through 166, I believe.
Yes.
Let me look at the other bill.
For 5 or more years to administer the on-road.
Now, this would authorize these driving schools to test non-students. So if they're there, those schools that's been in existence for 5 years, they have a good track record authorized by DDS, then they can then test non-students.
I'm just curious if the department has to license and they get approved. I was wondering, is there a reason why we're saying you have to have already done this for 5 years? Obviously, for a good track record, but was there a specific? Maybe legal counsel could help out with that. I don't understand the limiting of who can do this if they're licensed by the state.
I would say the 5 years is just to be sure that these schools are well trained, and usually if they've been in business for 5 years, then they have a good track record.
Thank you, sir.
All right, number 10, Representative Montahan. What number are you over there? 12. You moved on me.
No, I'm sorry. That one wasn't working, so I wasn't sure. Oh, button line down. Just to the gentleman's question, being in the space, I think the 5 years is wrong. So there's 2 portions to that. It looks like here there's a 2-year requirement, and that is a basic. It gives the department the ability to kind of examine that provider to make sure that they're doing what they say they need to do. And then after an additional 3 years, they would be basically given an advanced license. Why is that happening? Because in the past, providers of this program and other providers in programs like CDL testing and otherwise were in it. They were cheating, right? They were selling the certificates. That was back when everything was paper. And so there is the driving test as a function of our state is a high bar. It creates a high bar for the safety of our roadways. And so we want to make sure that what we do here is well intended and meets that same high bar. But that's the reason for that. I think it was Jay. I just want to answer.
I think he just gave the complicated version of my answer.
That's clear as mud. All right.
To my friend Chairman Barr, be careful what you ask. You're gonna get an answer that could complicate it.
Well, thank you, Chairman Powell. Are there any other questions? Not seeing, I don't see any other questions. I understand we have an amendment. Number 12.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, after working with our partners in the Georgia Department of Driver Services, they have offered some insight into what they feel would be most compatible with their rules and regulations that they promulgate under 940. And this is the first time I've seen this so excuse me if my numbers are wrong, but line 40. Okay. It says through in-person instruction, online courses, or remote participation platforms. My amendment would be to strike the period and add provided by in-person instruction providers. And that would, period, and that ends that. That would make sure that it's kind of in line with the rules and regs from the Georgia Department of Driver Services.
Provided by instruction.
Provided by in-person instruction providers. The current DDS rules say that they have to be an in-person provider first. And so we just want to make sure that that's matching up on their end. I have another amendment. If you entertain, or you want to take a motion on that?
No, let's do them both.
Okay. The next amendment, after working again with our partners at the Georgia Department of Driver Services, on the very last page, this is line 267. The effective date is January 1st, 2022. They would like the effective date to be July 1st, 2021. So the amendment would be to strike January 1, 2022 and replace with July 1st, 2021.
All right, we have a question, number 8, Representative McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess my only concern is I just wonder why would DDS want to back the date up to July 1st, 2021 instead of January 2022?
I spoke with the department this morning, and they're good with moving the date back. That we were at that date in the subcommittee, and then they wanted it possibly changed to January, but now they've come back, so they actually, after talking with the commissioner, they're good with the July date. So, and that was.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I think the posture we're in, we need a motion and a second on the bill. Do we have a motion on the bill? We got a motion. We have a second on the bill. Now we need to take a motion on the amendment. All right. Okay. Are there any further discussion on the bill? All right. Now we can take a motion on the amendments. On both amendments. And we got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the amendments?
I have a question, Representative Kennard.
All right, Representative Kennard, you're recognized for your question.
Mr. Chair, does the representative's amendment with the language of in-person affect the virtual component at all?
serves to enhance that.
I don't know if you heard them, but they said, no, it does not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the amendment. Do we have, we vote on? All right. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, like sign? All right, now we will vote on the bill as amended. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the bill as amended, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, we got through that one. You have your bill, Mr. Chairman. Next, we will go on to House Bill 289. Chairman Belton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm working off Lima Charlie 392865 Sierra for substitute House Bill 289. This bill has two portions to it. The one is it makes two minor changes to the existing code. On page lines 34 through 42 or so, it reorganized, cleans up, and clarifies requirements for new driver's license for folks under the age of 18. And the reason why I'm doing this bill is lines 132 through lines 134 is it recognizes the urgency of enlistment process for newly enlisted soldiers in the armed forces to be able to get a driver's license immediately instead of having to wait the 12 months. The reason this is important is you should be proud that Georgia has the second highest percentage of people who go into the military. I hope you campaign on that. We have a lot of folks who go into the military. When they go in the military, they go in, they don't all go in as a buck private, or E1. Some go in as E1, some go as in E2, E3, E4, sometimes even E5, depending on what kind of education and qualifications they have. So the difference between an E3 and E1 is a big deal when you're a young private. So what this allows is folks who go in to get a better assignment, E1 or E2, E3, it's the kind of thing, and also have be able to qualify for different trades, or they have an enlistment, different kind of things that they do in the military. So it helps our young people when they actually join the military. And that is the substance of the bill. I yield for questions.
Are there any questions? Any online? Number 10, Chairman Barr.
Thank you, sir.
Number 9.
Sorry, 9, yes. Representative Belton, I applaud your efforts to help all of our veterans in Georgia. You have shown over the years that you are truly a man of your word in trying to make Georgia the most military-friendly state, and I appreciate that. My question on your bill, does this only, and I apologize, I have not read through the entire thing, does this only apply to military personnel?
No, sir. The lines 132 to 134 does. The lines 34 through 42, it clarifies the language, it simplifies it for all people under the age of 18. What right now, if you see, we draw out a lot of lines. We eliminate a lot of lines between 18 and 24, then 41 through 50. It's very, very complicated hodgepodge. If you're above 17, but yes, less than 16 and this sort of thing, it just basically cleans up all that language to say, if you're under the age of 18, then you have to do these things to get a license. And it's the same for everyone between 16 and 18 years old.
Perfect. Thank you very much. At the proper time, Mr. Chairman.
I think now would be the time.
So move, we pass.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Everybody online is an aye. All right. You have your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. House Bill 338, Representative Deloach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm working off of LC 392893S. That sound right? It's a committee substitute.
It says 29.
Is that not right? Thank you very much. Okay. 392916S. Let me take a quick look.
All right, 2916S.
Got it.
That's what, everybody have that latest version? All right.
As I'm sure most of you know, that the state of Georgia issues to veterans a veteran's license, and the department is not authorized to make a charge for that license. Over the years, we'd added to who could get one and who couldn't get one, and it kind of got to be a mess. And the posture we're in now, because of the language that exists now, a veteran is required to go to the VA to get a certificate before we can get a veteran's driver's license. That may seem pretty simple, but it normally involves about a half a day sitting on a bench waiting to see a VA counselor, and sometimes it's longer than half a day. What this bill does is eliminate that confusing language, puts in the definition of veteran that's found in the Federal Code Title 38, identifies who is a veteran. And we think by doing that, the department will be able to simply take your DD 214, check your name on it, look at box 13A. If it says honorable, then you're entitled to that driver's license. We're not dictating to the department that they have to do that, because that's getting a little too deep in the weeds, and there is some language in here about those who served in some other country's service but were fighting along with American troops, such as Korean War, South Korean war veterans. They're entitled, and that might still require some further clarification. That's what the bill does. It's a good welcome home bill for Vietnam veterans that don't want to have to go sit at the VA all day long. I waited a lot of years to get my veteran's license just because of that long wait.
Do we have any questions? Number 16.
Proper time, I'll make a motion to do that.
And Representative Deloach, Chairman Blackman also had a similar bill to this. I mean, we combined both bills. And
He
does
did
what
exactly.
he was trying to do for the veterans that he was working with. So it accomplishes both.
It does exactly what he wanted done, actually.
I appreciate you bringing the bill.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
good bill. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, how many people signed up on this next bill? 29, all opposed? What's this, who is House Bill 453? Does anybody know Representative McDonald? If he will come forward and present his bill. Do what?
I changed my name to Powell last night. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the committee, House Bill 453, LC 39, 2828. Basically, this is just about a couple word changes. If you'll look at line 14, it strikes personal and changes it to purposes unrelated to the role as a firefighter. What this does is allow a firefighter that works one day and is off to, has a landscape company, that he can go out now and put his firefighter tag on a truck that he may be using for his landscape business that he bought through his LLC. A firefighter tag is attached to an individual, not a company. If you've got, like myself, as a firefighter for 27 years, My CF 1573 I've had forever, and I've changed cars. That tag has always stayed with me and cannot be transferred. It is attached to my name. You'll see some cleanup language in here that lead council did that back when this was done. Computers were kind of new, and what it does allow retired firefighters, they will attach retired to their tag number now, so they don't have to go back and chase down a fire chief at a county to get their tag every year. This allows the retired name to be with their tag, so wherever they move, it'll be on a computer that tag is for retired firefighter. You'll also see a couple places where they change local to county tag agent, but that's basically the gist of the bill.
We had a conversation at dinner the other night about, somebody brought up about if it was a LLC and you sell the company, does that tag go with that truck? Could you speak to that?
Yes, sir. I spent all night after our dinner doing research till about 5 a.m. And my research showed that firefighter tag is attached to the individual. Just so it does not go with a company. As I've moved around, changed cars, that tag has always been there. So it cannot. It is not goes with a vehicle. It goes with an individual.
All right, number 7, Chairman Powell.
Did I understand you just said that you stayed up to 5 a.m. doing research?
Yes, sir. For our chairman. Yes, sir.
Are you not married?
Kinda. Yes, sir.
Do you not have a girlfriend?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Do you not have anything better to do than stay up to 5 o'clock?
When the chairman
doing
asks you a
research?
question at dinner, you get the answer, sir.
Will this help you with your window being busted out of your truck by any way? If we
I don't
pass this
think
bill?
anything will help that. I'm still kind of depressed about that. Medication won't even cure that. I do get my truck back tomorrow. It's been 2 weeks.
Number 8, Representative McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wonder if we can get someone to carry a bill where legislators can keep their tax. No, just kidding.
Well, y'all have the same issue.
Well, yes, we do, but we can't, we don't keep our tags once we leave.
There is a retired tag for legislators now.
Emeritus
tag that you're allowed to get.
No, I was going to say that because it goes with the vehicle, though. It doesn't.
No, sir. It stays with it. It mirrors this. The problem you have with a representative tag or senator's tag is it cannot go on a company vehicle either. You would probably want to change that. Like if your company owns your vehicle you drive every day, like my vehicle I drive, my funeral home owns it. Suppose you cannot put a representative tag on that vehicle because it's owned by your company. That's just what this is changing for a firefighter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
On line 61, it says all laws and parts of laws in conflict with this act are repealed. Can you tell us what we were repealing?
There's a smart lady over here against the wall I need to talk to for a second, have a sidebar with. Can you help me, please?
We've opened up some more questions. Hold on. We got number 9, Chairman Barr.
Yes, sir. Serious question. You have no date when this would be effective. Can you tell us when this would come into effect?
I do not know, sir.
When
I
it's
guess
not
governor's
there, it'd be
signature.
upon signature if not
Governor.
stated. Is that correct? July 1st. All right, I think, what number? Number 12. You've opened up a lot of questions.
Mr. Chairman, just looking here, I know there's 29 people that would like to speak in opposition to the bill, so I'll be brief. I just want to make sure, I don't know all the new members. Is this the same freshman representative that didn't show up for his first subcommittee meeting?
That's why I changed my name to Powell. That was McDonald that didn't show up. Powell, too, showed up.
All right. We've got a lot more questions. It's lighting up like a Christmas tree. Number 7, Chairman Powell.
Given that this young man is clearly starting to bog down in the mud, I move for the previous question.
We've got a motion and a second on the bill.
Thank you, Dan.
Do we have any further discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? You have your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Meeting is adjourned.